on CoastTV News.
Stell Parker Selby still absent. The House is back in session with an empty seat again.
OC Bikefest boost.
This is a really nice boost at the end of the season.
A deal is done. Ocean City locks in Bikefest 2025 with a new team.
Wind freeze fallout. A new lawsuit takes aim at the White House, claiming the president's offshore wind order is unconstitutional.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
An empty chair still where Stell Parker Selby should sit. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight with District 20's representative still absent 9 weeks into the legislative session. Here's how we got here. Sometime this winter, Stell Parker Selby, who represents Milton, Harbison, and Lewis areas, had an unspecified medical event. The photo you see was sent by Democrats showing Parker Selby swearing in at home, and she's noticeably in a wheelchair, which she was not before. In late March, the House Speaker told CoastTV she was looking forward to having Representative Stell Parker Selby back in the hall, quote, very soon. That still hasn't happened.
CoastTV's Zakia Jennings is live now at Legislative Hall. Zakia, both Democrats and Republicans were tight-lipped on Stell Parker Selby's continued absence.
Maddie, Representative Stell Parker Selby was a no-show today. She was not seen as the session resumed. I did speak with the Democratic Party's Deputy Director of Communications, who says as far as they know, Representative Parker Selby is still, quote, on the up and up, but she's not here, and there's no call for a special election since technically there is no vacancy. That's because back in March, towards the end of the month, she was sworn in at a private home ceremony. As for the Republicans, House Minority Leader Tim Dukes told me no comment today, but he will be meeting with the Speaker tomorrow, which is routine. In the past, Republicans told us they were anxiously anticipating today to see if Representative Parker Selby would show up after their spring recess. Today, she did not show. CoastTV remains committed to asking the questions many of you have been asking us and continue to ask us since we found out in March about the representative's absence. Live in Dover, Zakia Jennings, CoastTV News.
Thank you, Zakia. And many viewers, as you mentioned, have asked why Representative Stell Parker Selby can stay in office and continually be absent. So let's tell you what we've learned so far. Delaware Code says while in session, a special election can be called by the Speaker of the House, which Democrats have made very clear they have no plans on doing. If the legislature is not in session, the governor may issue a writ of election to fill a vacancy. Here's the thing, though. Since Democrats say Parker Selby was sworn in at home, her seat technically isn't vacant, so that means right now nobody could even vote in her place. Republicans tell us they're researching what other states do in instances like this where a lawmaker is continually absent and there are fears that that lawmaker is incapable of performing their duties.
This brings us to our CoastTV poll. We want to know, how are you feeling about District 20's leadership?
Let's take a look at the updated results from last news hour. Take a look at your screen, and now 91% say they are frustrated, though confused, unconcerned getting a little bit of the vote, patient getting 0.
Those numbers keep ticking up a little bit every time we look at it. Donna L. West of Harbison says, we need to ask the governor to step up and get us a representative, or Stell Parker Selby needs to step down. If you haven't voted yet, you can still do that, or you can, like that person did, leave us a comment. Go to coasttv.com or use the CoastTV mobile app. And we will show you updated results tonight on CoastTV News at 11. New at 6, the Attorneys General of Maryland and Delaware are joining a lawsuit over wind energy. CoastTV News' Christina DeRobertis is in the newsroom. Christina, 17 state attorneys general are suing the Trump administration over its efforts to halt wind turbine projects.
They are, and the lawsuit argues that the president's executive order to freeze all permitting for both offshore and onshore wind projects, the lawsuit argues that it's unconstitutional. It also argues that the freeze would put clean energy progress, job growth, and the economy at risk. The executive order would affect the U.S. wind project, which is planned to go off the coast of Ocean City, but the order has been praised by wind farm opponents like Ocean City's mayor, who say the wind farm is bad for the environment and quality of life. The project has already received federal approval, but the freeze could cause a delay in that getting started. The lawsuit also says that puts $3 billion in Maryland money already invested at risk. And while Maryland Governor Wes Moore and obviously the Maryland Attorney General support the lawsuit, others like Ocean City Mayor Rick Meehan and State Senator Mary Beth Carrozza, they recently went to Washington, D.C. to oppose the wind farm. They're hoping the freeze stays in place. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Christina. And speaking of Ocean City, let's take a live look outside there. Beautiful evening. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams has a look at our forecast. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Maddie. And winds are picking up, actually, momentum inland and as well along the shore, particularly for the folks that are right along the Chesapeake Bay area. But right now, we have 14-mile-per-hour winds out of the southwest in Laurel, 74 degrees at this present time. We'll drop by 10 degrees by 10 o'clock with scattered cloud cover in place by then. Take a look at these 70s, rampant throughout a good portion of our region. We're at 75 in Georgetown, 72 in Seaford, it's 74 in Dagsboro and Gumboro, 78 in Willers, 75 right now, Ocean Pines. Scattered cloud cover, that's all we have to really deal with at this present time. Now, we are looking at it staying very breezy throughout the Chesapeake Bay area with an active small craft advisory there, bracing for 20 to 25 mile-per-hour wind gusts. But the rest of the Delmarva Peninsula staying relatively quiet, and what we see for volatile weather is up towards the Philadelphia area and will continue to careen its way well to the north and out of our neck of the woods. Now, coming up, we're going to be talking about how we're going to have a couple of more summer-like feeling days before we have to deal with a summer-like feeling shower, Maddie.
All right, Paul, thank you. Well, legislation would have limited the amount of outdoor displays a business can have in Ocean City, but that failed last night. The legislation would have set stricter standards for where displays are allowed to be. Ahead of the ordinance being tabled, several business owners claimed the new rules were unfair. So Mayor Rick Meehan hopes that this extra time with the ordinance being tabled gives businesses and the town a chance to work towards solution.
We've remanded it back to the Planning and Zoning Commission, made it very clear they need to attend those meetings, give their testimony. Maybe we can find some common ground that'll make some of the changes that we're looking for, and at the same time, be something they can make an adjustment to.
Meehan says no new rules will go into effect this summer.
A public hearing is scheduled tonight for a proposed addition to the Donovan Smith manufactured home community. The developer is applying for conditional use to add 31 new homes. Last month, the Lewis Planning Commission took another look at conditional use applications. The next step is the public hearing, which is scheduled for 6:30 p.m. at the Margaret H. Rollins Center.
A public notice for a proposed 4-story building in Milford. If approved, it would be built on North Walnut Street. The applicant plans to have 6 commercial spaces, 16 apartment units, and even a possible rooftop restaurant. The Milford Board of Adjustment has a public hearing on this proposal May 8th.
New tonight, a motorcyclist led police on a dangerous chase through Dewey Beach. That's according to the Dewey Beach Police Department. They say 26-year-old Jonah Work was using a bike lane to pass other cars. Police say they tried to pull him over, but Work made several U-turns, one of them illegal, and drove the wrong way on the shoulder of Coastal Highway. According to the Dewey PD, he turned himself in Monday and faces multiple charges, including disregarding a police officer's signal and aggressive driving.
In Milford, a motorcycle crash left one person dead on Friday. Here's a location where that happened. Milford police say the motorcycle tried to illegally pass a Chevy while speeding, but hit the left side of the Malibu. The motorcyclist, later identified as Robert Pierce, was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. And we have a lot more news to get to this evening.
Another expense referendum coming up, three chances to go to Indian River to get more information.
And we're about to have another round of easy but a bit breezy sunshine across Delmarva. More on that coming up.
But first, OC Bikefest officially happening in 2025. What you can expect when we're back in just 60 seconds.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
Start your engines and get ready for OC Bikefest 2025.
The Ocean City Council and Kickin' Events LLC have agreed on a contract to have OC Bikefest for the next 2 years. Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zapay is live in Ocean City. Kevin, the clock is ticking to get this event ready for the waves of people.
Guys, OC Bikefest will be starting this year on September 10th, giving the town exactly 127 days to prepare for the event. The road for OC Bikefest 2025 has been cleared. The Ocean City Council and Kickin' Event LLC have agreed on a contract, and Richard Saunders is excited to see all the bikes return to the coast.
I hope everybody comes down and has a good time. This is a good place to be.
Since Kickin' Event drove in to make this event happen, the council is cutting them a deal. They won't charge them a dime for the use of the inlet lot or the convention center, saving the promotions team around $90,000. The town is looking to make their money during the event.
They have to eat, they have to have some place to stay. So from a business standpoint, we love events like this.
And with a new team in charge, here's what you should expect from OC Bikefest 2025. According to Kickin' Event, they want to put more of a focus on the vendors, and they want to have live bands play throughout the day and headliners during the evening. But they want to beef up one of the big draws. Every year, motorcycles have a chance to ride along the boardwalk. That usually happens once. This new group wants to do it twice. And despite all the big changes, you could still expect a big crowd. In fact, $130,000 worth of tickets have already been sold for this event. Ocean City Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Amy Thompson says it's a big win for businesses in town, especially in the fall.
This is a really nice boost at the end of the season for our hospitality-facing members to really have a nice push and bring a different crowd to town.
According to promoters, they expect anywhere from 10,000 to 20,000 to buy tickets and make their way to OC Bikefest later this year. Now, to make sure everybody stays safe for this year's OC Bikefest, the town will be enforcing a special event zone, making sure they follow the speed limits. I'm Kevin Zapay, live in Ocean City, Coast TV News.
Here's a look at your golf forecast. We're expecting for you to be able to line your putt up pretty easily, looking for good conditions actually, with more sunshine. As we peruse the beach, we pick up on the fact that how clear it is for us actually in Lewis at this time, courtesy of our tunnel razor camera. 77 degrees with the winds right now moving at about 12 miles per hour. Now we will drop down to the mid 60s by 10 o'clock with partly cloudy skies in the Lewis area. We are holding in the 70s most locations throughout the Delmarva Peninsula. As far north as Milford, we're at 73, 74 in Gumboro, 77 degrees Willard, 73 right now in Ocean City. The winds pushing out of the southwest, but picking up a little momentum. We're talking about 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts being recorded in Georgetown, a 26-mile-per-hour wind gust in Millsboro, as well as the Indian River Inlet, and a 29-mile-per-hour wind gust being recorded recently in Ocean City. So the winds are a bit of a concern, not overly concerned, but just at least a bit of a concern for Cambridge as well, with an active small craft advisory in effect until 8 o'clock for this evening. That's where they're watching out for 25-mile-per-hour winds. But you'll notice we don't have the same small craft advisory on the other side of the Delmarva Peninsula. So this is really hovering near the quasi-stationary frontal boundary that's actually kind of waffling across the Delmarva Peninsula. Partly cloudy skies for tonight. Temperatures in the mid to upper 50s for tonight. 58 for the overnight low at Bethany Beach, Rehoboth Beach, as well as Lewis and the Lewis Beach for that matter. Winds will be shifting out of the west for tomorrow. 77 for the high in Lewis, 72 for the high, Rehoboth Beach. We should warm to 78 degrees in Vienna and Federalsburg, but 77 for the high in Cambridge. And we should warm to about 75 in Ocean City with the winds out of the west at 6 to 11 miles per hour. 8:30 in the morning, we'll see a few sprinkles north of Ellendale briefly, but then they move out of the way quickly. Clouds will thicken for us by 3:30, and with temperatures in the upper 70s for Wednesday. Now for Thursday, we start off cloudy in the morning time, okay? A bit of a milky skyline. Then it'll clear out briefly, and then the cloud cover will come back over Fenwick Island and Bethany Beach, but will stay clear at other locations, warm up to 80 degrees at the very least in Seaford. Our chances of precipitation will escalate on Friday with a 45% chance of rain then. So that's where we're going to concentrate our focus right now with the potential of rain. So we start Thursday, going throughout Friday, and you'll notice that we're running the models up till Saturday morning. Maybe a quarter of an inch to a half an inch of rain. So it's not all that impressive, even though we have a touch of scattered showers that will kick off for us, a sprinkle or two, to be honest. For Thursday at 6:30, that moves out of the way. By 4 o'clock in the morning Friday, that might be when we'll see the majority of the rain that we expect on Friday, because by the time we get into the afternoon and evening, the entire frontal boundary pushes out of the way. The dynamic of the flow of the upper air and the upper atmosphere will stay pretty consistent with a cold front or a frontal boundary pushing through and clearing the way. That being said, here's what we're expecting in summary. 55 for tonight, clearing out quickly. For tomorrow, 78, warming up quickly, winds out of the west. Another 78 day for Thursday, but the clouds will really thicken Thursday night going into Friday morning, because Friday morning is we're expecting that best opportunity for rain. Here's a look at your extended forecast. On Mother's Day, we will warm back up to 80 degrees just in time for Mama's special day.
That sounds great, Paul. Thank you. The Indian River School District is holding its second current expense referendum on June 5th after voters shot down the first attempt this spring. So the district is hosting 3 public meetings to highlight it. The first Wednesday, May 14th at Millsboro Middle. The second, May 21st at Lord Baltimore Elementary. The last, Wednesday, May 28th at Indian River High School. This referendum asking voters to approve over $22 million in money to cover rising operating costs and competitive salaries.
School board elections are next Tuesday in Delaware. There are races in both Indian River and Cape Henlopen school districts. The Delaware Department of Elections say that the polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Voters must bring proof of identity and address, and the deadline for requesting an absentee ballot is Friday, May 9th. To see a full breakdown of the Indian River and Cape Henlopen school districts races and more, check out CoastTV.com.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
It is Championship Tuesday on the Delmarva Sports Network. The Bayside title on the line in softball and baseball. First, on the softball diamond, the Stephen Decatur Seahawks won the Bayside South title for the first time since 2022. Their victory came against Mardella 3-1. The Seahawks rallied for 3 runs in the 5th, and Emily Bloom picked up the complete game to send Stephen Decatur to the Bayside title game. And as for North Dorchester, this will be their first time facing Decatur in 2025. 2 years ago, the Eagles became state champions. This year, they end the season on a 5-game win streak. A division title and the conference championship now on the line. This game in action on DSM+, and we will have highlights on the final score tonight at 10:30 p.m. To the baseball diamond, it will be Stephen Decatur taking on Queen Anne's County. The Seahawks sit at 18-2 on the season and rounded out the year on a 3-game win streak. As for Queen Anne's County, they are 10-7 overall. The Lions finished the year winning their last 2 games by a combined score of 30-1. This game just getting underway at Arthur Purdue Stadium. That'll for sports. Have a great night, everybody.
We can see the sun shimmering on the water right there in Ocean City with scattered cloud cover in place, 78 degrees with our dry tech camera. We'll drop to 62 with clear skies in Ocean City. Our umbrella winner is Sandy Winterbottom of Milton. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. Now, you can keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line. The number to call is 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a phone call. I'm told to do it this way instead of this way because I'm showing my age if I do it that way. So I'm doing it this way. All right. Anyway, my grandson told me that. Brock Stedman, Dallas, and Federico. Grandpa, what is this? It's hang loose, son. All right, anyway, here's a look at your 10-day forecast. 78, dropping by 10 degrees on Friday, but that's when we'll pick up a scattered shower or two. And Mother's Day will rise right back into the 80s once again.
All right, Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.